Wing Nation on the road at the PRI show. We're in the Racing Electronics display, and joining us now is the 2025 Kubota High Limit champion, Rico Abreu. Hey man, how are you?
Thank you guys. It was nice refreshing to be able to sit down for a few minutes here at the show, but thanks for having me on, Steve.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people. It's like, all right, you got to move on here. We have the chair when we get done with the interviews because it is, man, I'll tell you what, this show is so impressive, and it's got to be a neat opportunity for you to catch up with a lot of people that in the busyness of the season we don't catch up with.
Yeah, I mean, I really take this show just to come say hi to vendors and face-to-face with people, and people that we throughout the year do business with. Is just, I feel it becomes really important just to come say hi and see our faces, or see my face, put a face together with, John Harper at Brown & Miller, for example. It's someone I talk to all the time, but I don't get to see, or Willie Kane at Factory Kane Shocks, and people that we've done business with for over a decade now, and to be able to snag lunch or dinner with them, it also becomes really important too. But this show, I noticed over the years, draws a lot of race fans, which I think is cool. For fans to kind of mingle through the crowd here and get to see the people that we're doing business with, the teams or the vendors that we that put out a very high quality piece of product that is winning championships, and people get to see that or hear it talked about on Dirt Vision or Flow, or you guys after a race weekend talk about it, and then a fan can kind of put it all together about, oh wow, Rico's running these Brown & Miller lines, and or Factory Kane Shocks, and here's Willie Kane, the owner of the business, right here. So I just think those little things become really cool about this show.
There is so much depth involved with sprint car, with anything, any form of racing. There's so much depth involved with it. I think the thing that's fascinating to me is a lot of our fans, we've got our casual fans, we've got our, I just want to know about the driver, but we have got a lot of fans that want to know every detail about this sport, and this show is fascinating from that perspective.
Yeah, and it's so broad. I mean, there's so many different avenues you can go if you're going to go the car route, or Weld Wheels has a booth here, and Motor State, Edelbrock, I believe, has a booth. Butler Built Seats, like whatever direction you want to take it in motorsports, they should be here. So I just and it's right in my backyard in Indianapolis. Originally being from California, but majority of my time is spent right here in Indy, and my race team has evolved into obviously Tony Stewart Racing now, and our shop's right down the road from the trade show.
How has the transition been? I know we talked to you and you were in the middle of the season and everything like that. How has the transition been over to TSR?
It's been great, as it should have, as it should be. So, Tony's really, really excited. It's honestly built a stronger bond between Tony and I, and now we have some business relations together, and to be able to manage his sprint car team at a very high level and continue that championship mentality. It's going to be really important for me to, as a high limit champion here, to back this up and continue to win races. And we have a great group from Misha to Tony to their partners, CarQuest, Curb Records, Martin One Source, everybody that a lot of the partners that are involved in Rico Abreu Racing are coming over to Tony Stewart Racing, but a lot of the product partnerships were already in place at Tony Stewart Racing. So that stuff is going to be really mutual and blending together, and I just get really excited when you think about the atmosphere in the shop, and for me to be able to fly that Tony Stewart Racing flag is something really special. Tony's someone I've looked up to my whole racing career, and someone from day one a lot of people don't know who's brought me into his home, and for 5 years I've lived with him. So we have a really, really strong bond, and now to really seriously get the chance to race for him and to race at a very high level, to where my maturity and my career is, the growth of that is, I feel that it's going to be really important to me that we back this championship up and race wins, and to try to go conquer a Knoxville Nationals and a Kings Royals, and those races mean a lot to me, and I get really emotional when I speak about them, but they have a really soft spot in my heart.
You mentioned getting your ducks in a row, for lack of a better term, and having depth and everything like that. The reality of our sprint car world is you better have it that way. You're at the top of the mountain now, but there's a bunch of good teams, whether it's the premier events where you will match up with the World of Outlaws or with the High Limit Tour. The level of competition now in this sprint car world is just absolutely insane, and you've got to have all these things buttoned up just to maintain that level.
Yeah, it's as tough as it's ever been. I feel that everybody's competitive. They all have great equipment. They all have put together great teams. I think where I've really tried to separate myself is, especially at the management level, is putting together people that love to race with me and that genuinely want to be there no matter the direction of success. The sport is so difficult. You can win one night and miss the feature the next night, and it could happen over and over, and it becomes very humbling. And this year we really, I feel like, put my team to the test with missing. It's the first time in my career I've missed like 5 main events, throughout a season, and that really just shows. But then we went and won 21 races on top of that and won a high limit championship. So we were in a big trial and error period, and we were able to work through all that. And I think that it just shows the team that, allowing them to do their roles and getting around some really, really good people that are committed to my vision and ultimately long term of wanting to be with these guys forever and growing. You see a Steve Kinzer and Carl Kinzer in that era, and a Steve Kinzer and Scott Gherkin and Carl and Mark and Paul Silva and Kyle Larson, long-term relationships, and that's what I've really put in an effort to build and internally, and to bring that over to Tony Stewart Racing and continue that mentality is going to be really important for me.
Really important, really challenging. All right, we have a mystery question, so reach in there and grab a mystery question. We've had a couple that keep coming out all the time. Maybe we'll get a new one here. All right, what do we have? What was your first race car?
So my first actual race car was a caged outlaw kart that I raced in 2007. And then I went from that to a sprint car with Brent Kading. But originally, my father built a go-kart for me that was like a backyard go-kart with they would do the single, chain-driven Briggs & Stratton engine, and we had this little track back in our vineyard area, and we put the number 24 on it, so it's considered a race car. But in a caged outlaw kart, number 24 would have been my first ever one, and our family-built racetrack.
How'd you? When was the first time you raced away from that family-built racetrack? What do you remember about your first time in a race car?
I did like a full year of practicing on our track, so it really got me up to speed. And but 2007, I went to Lakeport Speedway, about an hour north of my hometown in St. Helena, California, and I got to race in an indoor race. And if you ever get on YouTube and pull up some old videos of me, there's an old onboard on YouTube that I was just beating and banging on all these guys, and all the moms and dads were so mad at me, and I finished 4th in the race, but there was all these karts that were crashed out, and I didn't know any different, and it was a significant learning curve for me.
Final question for you, how's Gus?
Gus is great. He is the leader of our tribe, and he's actually home here in Indianapolis, and I'm looking forward to, he's always happy when I see him. He always is a ball of energy, and that's what really gets me through the racing seasons on our bad days. Is I'm always so frustrated with the race car, or things not working out, and every time I get back to the merch trailer, Gus is always my #1 fan, always happy to see me.
Yeah, I have the same thing with our dog. It's just that you walk in the door and they're happy to see you, and it's really, really cool. Your video about him with the piñata, I was dying. The piñata thing, I was absolutely dying.
He's so unsure what to do, and then we finally he loves balls, he loves opening packages, he's really curious about things, and we always say he's safety sniff. So every time we bring something in the house, he's got to be the first one to sniff it. So we say, Gus, get your safety sniffs in. But the piñata was awesome, just to see his personality with Leo, Corey Lyson's dog. So it's good times. Gus brightens our day up every day.
Certainly does, that's for sure. Rico, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the success, and won't be long. We'll see you on the racetrack again.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
There we go. That's Rico Abreu, the High Limit, Kubota High Limit champion from 2025.